The Christmas berry, or Photinia beauverdiana, is a really unusual deciduous tree. Probably doesn't make much more than 6 or 8 metres. Maybe we're up at Periander Gardens here in Olinda, which went on the Monbulk Road, just off the Monbulk Road, and this plant's been here as long as I can remember. And I'm just trying to estimate in my mind's eyes 8 to 10 metres. So, you know, you're in high rainfall, 50, 60 inches of rain probably up here. Spread throughout most of the year, so you don't even have many what I'd call real dry or extreme patches of weather. It's got lovely large green leaves. In the spring you can get reddish tints to the new growth, which is a real feature of the plant in spring, and then come late spring you get these beautiful corymbs of white flowers. They do have a little scent, but nothing to mention really. But they do flower en masse, and this plant's quite sheltered by the other trees around it, but certainly a good deciduous tree. The autumn colour on this is a star, absolutely, with this big green lush foliage in spring and summer, and then turning absolutely electric bright reds and oranges in autumn. So a really good tree, particularly hardy. Not a hard plant for most people in Melbourne or Southern Australia to grow, except in arid areas. I wouldn't grow it in any of the more arid areas, but anywhere where you've got, anywhere except the very hottest areas, or driest areas more importantly, you'll grow these really well. And obviously big foliage plants like this with big leaves, if you keep the water up through the summer months, you won't have any problem. If you have trouble keeping the water up to them, especially when they're young, either grow them in more woodland conditions or avoid growing it. But generally speaking, a pretty hardy deciduous tree, 8 to 10 metres. So this garden started, I think, back in the 60s. It would have been planted fairly early on. So it's been here sort of 60 odd years, this plant, and it's still not a massive tree. It's a nice rounded crown tree, and often overlooked mainly because people don't know it. So I've just put some more cuttings into this because I just think it's something we should be growing in Australia. Plants of this sort of level of hardiness are relevant to Southern Australia. We can have our cold and so forth, but we also need to consider we need a percentage of plants that can handle a bit of sun, a little bit of hot wind, and also some dry patches, as long as not sustained. And of course in a garden situation we can always add a little water as required. But pretty forgiving plant. Well worth looking at as an option for a nice small deciduous shady tree. Allow 8 to 10 metres long term, but I mean if you're only looking at shorter term, it's going to take a lot longer to get, it's going to take 50 or 60 years to get this sort of size. So not particularly out of control sized deciduous tree. A really nice shade sized tree if you want one shady tree for a suburban block. If you've got a bigger yard, no problem at all, of course, it's unlimited. But anyway, consider Photinia beauverdiana. I think it really has got a lot of features that endear it to me, and I think it's something that, having seen them grown since Arnold was running Yamina rare plants at the very start, it was a plant that he grew and was still fairly well unknown then, and it's largely still unknown now because very few growers have actually latched onto it. But I think it is still a really charming plant, really lovely foliage. This round shady crown that it offers is just the perfect shade tree for a suburban lot if you just want one tree as a specimen. And if you've got a larger property, like I said, 8 to 10 metres obviously is it's just going to be one of many plant options. But I would strongly recommend this from China and Taiwan, I think, this species. I think that's where it's endemic. And a really nice plant. So we grow these at Yamina Rare Plants. About every second year I do a little batch of these just to keep them circulating. And that's what I do with a lot of the plants I grow here. Just try to keep them in circulation, and then hopefully people slowly get to be more aware of some of the other alternative options to what's generically available in the trade. So anyway, try this out. This is a really good hardy tree and quite ornamental, and the nice thing is through spring and summer you've got this beautiful canopy, so it is really a nice shade tree.